What's up, my YouTube page? It's me, V. Today is Tuesday, October 26th, 2021. It's 11:56 in the nighttime. I'm here in the office, just chilling, relaxing, um, trying to basically just filter through my head, my thoughts, and analyze where I'm at right now mentally and, figure out where to go from here pretty much. Because, I mean, I've gotten a lot better. If you've seen some of my previous videos or you know how I am, um, you probably notice that I've gotten a lot better at interactions with people as far as my temper and whatnot. I mean, I'm not, a saint or anything like that, but I'm, compared to the way I used to be. I was very aggressive and very confrontational directly, and and yeah, I was out of line a lot of the times because I would overreact, jump to conclusions. Like sometimes I wasn't even valid in how I was acting. I just misunderstood or took something the wrong way or whatever happened in that moment. Not all the time, but a lot of the times I was, and I would just get very angry. Like, I mean, I still do. I still get angry at certain things, like at this fucking asshole that's basically apparently a nurse and basically mocking mentally ill people, and my friend that killed himself recently, or laughing at posts and comments that I've made talking about that. Like him, that's understandable, I think, for most people that they'd get upset. Although, by the reactions of some of my friends and families, I would feel like maybe they wouldn't agree. I don't know. I'm not sure. That's kind of what I've been thinking about too, because it's, I just lost, he wasn't like a close friend. I mean, I knew a lot about him because I lived with him for a few months, and we did a lot of activism together and volunteer stuff, and we had a lot of conversations throughout the short time that we hung out, and he was one of my star brothers. So there's a direct painful connection there, and it's just sad, like everything that happened, how his story played out, the ending, how he killed himself. He shot himself in the heart. Like, I know he was just in so much fucking pain. Like, I understand that pain where you have this rage and you just can't get rid of it. It's just impossible. It's something you can't just filter out and keep out. It's a constant just flow of energy because of the way the world is around you, and how it seems to be pretty much stagnant that way, and nobody seems to really be concerned about it. He had that same rage as I did. He was an activist like me. He did things about it. He tried to do things about it, to change it, to make it better. But it's hard when you have family and friends that don't have that same drive, that passion as you, and worse when they make fun of you for it or they put you down for it, or they make you feel bad for it. Like if it's something something negative that you should view within yourself, they feel that way about the world around you, and the fact that nobody does anything about it. They get mad because you don't have a fucking tunnel vision on and just block everything out, you know, because your energy is felt by them, obviously, if they keep you in their lives, and it's not something pleasant. So I get that, like, and I know that he just shot himself there because the pain was just there, because that's where he lived, that's who he was. He tried to live from the heart, and he wasn't perfect either. He had his temper as well, and he had his rage also that he battled, but he was a lot calmer than me, a lot more. He had his rage more under control than I did. Obviously, if he was able to fucking shoot himself in the heart instead of play out or plan out any type of angry scenario going on in his head to take himself out, then yeah, he definitely had his shit together more than I did. And yet he caved, he gave in. But he had a lot more problems than I did in his personal life, with his personal relationships and whatnot. And so I understand, that if I were to be in his situation, I can't say that I wouldn't do the same myself. At a certain point, my hair started growing out white, and I'm fucking 30. That's how much he's stressed. I saw this kid, essentially. That's what it was. I saw him as a brother. We argued a lot, lived together for a bit. And I wanted to help him more, but I couldn't. I didn't. So I made a post talking about mental illness and how it needs to be taken more seriously. And this fucking piece of shit just comes and starts laughing at it because he got offended because of another conversation we were having about mental illness on the local news thread, where he was being an asshole about a guy that was having a breakdown, a mental breakdown. And so I saw he was a nurse, and I started telling him, that I don't remember everything. I'm not gonna go over everything I said, but basically I confronted him, and I posted it, and people were basically just defending him because that I was a Karen and a fucking cancel culture groupie or some shit like that, just wanting to ruin lives for no reason. Like, they couldn't understand the basic concept of the fact that there's this fucking obviously mentally unstable person himself that is going to be dictating the mental health and diagnoses of some others, where or his medical opinion, where he could give advice to people and that are directly like under his care at the moment with mental illness. And he's gonna have that mentality about it. He's not gonna take them serious. He's gonna think they're weak. He's gonna think that they just need to probably fuck, or they need to just take take a chill pill or some fucking bullshit like that, you know, some fucking high school shit like that, because that's how his fucking mind works, and put people's lives in danger, you know. It's for mentally ill people, when you're going to try to get help and you come across scenarios like that repeatedly, it tends to break you down more. It tends to make you feel like there's really no point in trying anymore to get help in that avenue, at least. And it really breaks down the trust that you have towards the whole medical field and how they're able to handle, you know, mental health. And it's a horrible experience to go through. And then to have people like that, like, coming out of the woodworks defending him with their fucking nonsense political correctness bullshit, or whatever the fuck they're arguing about, whatever annoyance they have about it. It's even more infuriating. Like, it's so fucking upsetting. And I'm there just arguing with everybody, just pissed off as fuck, because I'm fucking pissed off. Like, that, you know, people are not understanding a basic concept. Like, it's not a fucking hard concept. Like, put your stupid political bullshit aside. Put your little warped mind, your brainwashed mind, you know, clear it out and think about this from its foundation and up, without bringing out any other thoughts except for the ones that are put in front of you, so you could understand what the fuck it is I'm trying to say. I don't give a fuck about cancel culture. I don't know. I fucking posted so many videos or articles, whatever, posts about Dave Chappelle, and how basically I'm in support of him because I think it's bullshit. This cancel culture shit, it's bullshit. And that's not what I'm trying to do, is like cancel his life or whatever. This fucking guy, I don't even give a fuck if he loses his job or not. I just want him to know that what he's doing isn't right, that it's not right to be that way, especially if you're in a profession like that. You shouldn't be that way. You should be an example both inside of your job and outside of your job as to whatever it is that you're supposed to play out at your job. You should be living like that all the fucking time. You shouldn't just put on a mask, like a figurative mask. I'm not a literal one, metaphorical mask. Shouldn't just put on a mask at work just so you could, you know, have a certain personality there or whatever, and then just go about and joke about it behind the curtains and be the fucked up person that you truly are. Like, you need to get help, you know, first of all, and step aside and let somebody else that's gonna actually be able to help people get in that role. Cause fuck, man, like, you know, Gilbert, I know he had bad experiences at the hospital. I was in a car accident with him once where we were not sure if we were actually being targeted or not. I actually made a video talking about that once, where we were driving on the loop, and it's like one of the main highways here in Laredo, and we were turning onto the loop barely, or I was turning. It was me, Andres, and Gilbert in the back, and I turned and was barely speeding up to like 30 miles per hour or so, when I see all of a sudden a car coming from around the corner, because on that area of the loop where I was coming from was from the entertainment center on Jackman, and right before there is a turn that like goes, you know, like really quickly, like, or sharply. So I see these lights just speeding, like suddenly, like it literally, it was like 3 seconds, a matter of within 3 seconds, I saw the lights coming the corner and hit me within those 3 seconds. And this is a distance of at least a full block, at least a full block. it's at least, what would I say, maybe half a football field, or or a football field, maybe. No, actually, wait, a football field's only, I don't know. I can't say how far it was exactly, but it was a pretty decent distance, like, for him to come within 3 seconds and hit me to where I was. And yeah, I just saw, like, the lights. It was like a movie, when you see a movie and you see, somebody's driving in the car, and all of a sudden you see lights in the mirror come out of nowhere, or a car come out of nowhere and pass. Like, that's exactly how it was. Like, I was just talking. We were talking about. We were trying to. We were at the Howell's Landing. It used to be Howell's Landing there, and we were basically trying to uh, talk to people about what we were doing with Citizens Against Corruption, and about what happened with Jose Walter Garza and stuff, and and yeah, and we were talking about it, and the lights came out of nowhere and just bam, and I didn't even, like, really have time to think before he hit us, like, what the fuck I should do. It just, as soon as he hit, it's like everything went into slow motion, and my mind went into, like, super speed, super speed, like, reality. It was literally like if I had, like, I know that I had angels with me, and, like, spirits guiding me, like, that had came into my body in that moment, and were, like, basically controlling my movements, and directing my voice box and everything of what to say and do. And I immediately, like, I just saw the fucking console, the center console, where the radio was and shit. As soon as the lights hit, that shit just popped out. All of it just popped out, and I just see Andres, like whipping, himself, and me too. Like, I felt like a whip, but I was looking that way, and I immediately just started, like, okay, I gotta fucking control the wheel. That was, like, the first thought that came into my mind, was I have to control the wheel, and I have to make sure that I stop this vehicle, because as soon as he hit us, the truck completely, like, went up from the back like that, and, like, up super high, and landed, like, we fucking land, because he hit us so fucking hard. He was going over 100 miles per hour. I know he was going over 100 miles per hour. The whole back end of the truck was fucking squished, like, squished in. Gilbert had been pushed in from the back to the front seat, because he was in the very back. It was one of those, like, trailblazers or whatever type of trucks, and he got squished, pinned between the front seat and the seat he was on, because he got pushed in. He was trapped there, and he was screaming and freaking out, like, oh, oh. And Andres too was, like, freaking out after it landed. I just started, like, I had that thought, like, I need to control the wheel, and I just started trying to control the car, because it started doing that fishtailing shit, because it went up so fucking high, and I had lost, I moved the wheel or whatever, so it landed, and it was just all crazy, and I was just trying to, like, control it, because I knew that if I let this fucking, at the speed we were going and how fast it was going, if I let it go a whole way through, that we could flip. We were gonna fucking flip. Like, I felt that in me, and something told me that too. Like, if you don't control this, it's gonna flip. Like, you have to stop it. And so, I'm there, like, trying to control it, and they're screaming and distracting me, and I'm just like, like, calm down. I literally, like, I'm turning the wheel, like, from one end to the other. It fucking, we went from, like, up, down, fishtailing, to backwards, like it went backwards, and I was driving backwards, it fishtailing it very slowly at that point because it was calming down. But they were, they were still yelling and distracting me, so I just told them, calm down, calm down. And they just, Andres, I could tell he started praying right away when I said that, and Gilbert, like, he was still like, like freaking out, but a lot lower, a lot less, and yeah, as soon as they calmed down, I fucking was able to move the truck towards the median lane, and that slowed it down a lot, and we stopped there on the fucking median. I was so pissed that day too. Fuck, man, that day honestly was a turning point for me as far as like my activism and all of that shit, because I had an epiphany, so to speak, because I started voicing my concerns to my friends and my family that I felt that maybe we were targeted, because we were coming out in the news and stuff, and you know getting harassed and shit, and I felt like maybe it was a targeted attack, or it could be, what a fucking coincidence. You come driving around the fucking corner at 2 in the morning going 100 miles an hour in the fucking slow lane. But, anyways, I couldn't prove that. I can't prove that or whatever. I confronted the dude, the driver of the vehicle, about it. Of course, he denies it. Fucking little bitch. He wouldn't tell me if it was true. But, anyways, um, yeah, I told my family and friends, I let the whole fucking world know, and it seems like nobody really was concerned about it or cared. And it's like they probably saw it as, well, that's what happens when you go and try and do something, you might get killed or whatever. And that was just another like epiphany that I had, like, wow, like even my own friends and family would just see it that way. They wouldn't even try to like find out what happened or get justice for me, or make any other move other than just bury me and try and forget about it and move on with their lives. And I was just like, wow. All right. Let me reevaluate this shit. See, what do I do? So I was basically, over the past 6, 7 years or so since it happened, just trying to figure out like what the fuck I should do with my life. Where should I go now? And the answer started coming to me slowly. And now I know where I have to go, and I'm going there. I'm getting there. I'm getting a lot closer to that breaking point where it's just everything just starts churning. But not there yet, and I can't be there yet until I get this anger shit under control completely, even to the point where I'm able to handle the dumb fucking morons that exist out there in the world and that live in the professional world as a whole different person than what they live in the actual real world. But I can do it. I'll fucking do it. Somebody has to.